Okay, sorry for the problems. Basically, OBS is unable to allocate memory to record the session, so I had to stop and start, and still is having problems. So I will do this the hard way. I will download the video and edit it later. Okay, so basically I was telling that if you search for Docker in my blog, you will find a lot of stuff for this. So what you are interested to start is to open this, which is have a cheap Ubuntu in your Windows, Mac, or Docker. Basically, it defines a Dockerfile with the super minimal things that we need. So we are going to copy this into our PyCharm. Okay, cool. So I have created a Dockerfile in here. I'm gonna enter the presentation mode. I'm pasting here the contents. So the first line, it defines the image that we will be using, Ubuntu 20.04. And we were gonna do this as root, apt update, install Python 3 pip, nettools. Those are tools that I install many times, pytest, and do a clean. The reason why we do this is because in Docker we work with layers, and as we work with layers, each instruction will use a layer, and even if we do the clean later, the space will not be removed. So we do all the operations in one line in order to make sure that it clears the cache, what we don't need anymore. So okay, we're gonna build this to start. Fantastic. Let me exit the presentation mode. So if I run this and I go to this path, copy path, copy absolute path, cd. So if I do build, build, Docker build, and I have to run it as sudo because I have not my user as the list of users that can have the privilege to run Docker, so I will do as sudo. So sudo docker build. Okay, so now it's grabbing the image from Ubuntu. Okay, and it will do all these instructions, so the apt update and install all those tools. And it's downloading the software. It takes a bit. Fantastic. So we have the Docker container now generated. So if we do we have the latest containers that I run. Okay. Fantastic. So what we are gonna do is I'm gonna take from my open source project CTOP. I'm gonna take as reference this. So I'm gonna elaborate a bit more. Let me copy all of this. So I'm gonna improve. Oh, sorry. This is another thing. This file is name build Docker, and it's a file that I normally create in all my projects. So I'm gonna just copy it. Copy. So from command line it will build it very easily. So project, paste. Yes. Okay. Cool. So instead of CTOP, we are gonna call it LAMPP, and I'm gonna add the other P for Python. This will remove the old image if there is one that existed with this name, and it will create it with no cache. That means that it will repeat all the steps, because otherwise it keeps whatever it can keep cache. So I'm gonna add without the no cache, because it will be very slow otherwise. So if I change a line in here, all of those steps will be cached, so it's not needed to do them again. Okay, so removing the no cache, they will be used if possible, and if there is an error building, I will print this error, exit code, and ready to run the container. And here I can see like a bit of explanation of how this will be done. So I'm gonna use this file now. So I'm gonna run the build Docker, and you will see that it's basically the same. Okay, as everything was cached, nothing changed. The only thing is that we have now an image that is named LAMPP. Fantastic. Currently we don't have anything related to LAMPP, so we are gonna start adding things. So for example, in here I'm gonna apt install yes Apache 2. So the web server, and I'm gonna build this. Now it cannot use the cache because it has changed. So it will build again. So for example, in here we can see how to install Python and MySQL in another Dockerfile. So we will need Python 3. We will need MySQL server. This is this one. So that's what I'm gonna add. So I'm gonna add this package, and I'm gonna move pip3 to the end, and I'm gonna add the ant. Oh, you see an error? Yeah, I think I forgot to add the ampersand. So right now it should be okay. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So, yeah, my bad. So in the meantime, for example, from here we can see we can expose the port. Okay. So we can export this port on the run. So we will suggest to have this. Okay, MySQL daemon is running. What else? We will need PHP as well. Okay. So I remember that one of my projects Catalonia Framework. Install. I'm gonna make this bigger. So I will need to install this. Okay, this is for install, but I provided a Docker. Running Catalonia Framework in Docker. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Let's move this. So, okay, from Ubuntu 20.04. Okay, we will have to add this for PHP. I'm gonna close the setup project because it's annoying me. Oh, here. So we will have for the Dockerfile, we said, oh, exactly, this first, then we need Apache. I'm gonna just copy the same, and we'll see. And I'm gonna add also how to remove. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. So this one we had. So I want this git. Okay, git I will add in another line. Okay. Git, and this is the same. Okay. And fantastic. What else? I'm forgetting something. Oh, this one. Expose. Yeah, so those are the lines that I wanted. So in the sample that I shared about having an Ubuntu inside of a Docker container, we have a while true, because if you don't have like an instruction at the end that continuously keeps the container running, it just executes and leaves. So you want to have something running. So I had a loop before, and in this case, I will have Apache 2 running in the foreground. Nice. So it seems that we have an auth now, and I'm gonna run the build again. So I'm gonna run that shell that I created, the build Docker, and it's pulling from the image. Again, it's doing all of this. So it will take a few seconds, and we will be exposing the port 80. If we go back here, here is the explanation, and here is the mapping of the ports. So I could map to the 80 port of the container to the 80 port in my local machine. I'm not sure if I have localhost. I probably have something running. No. Okay, so I can use the 80 then. Okay, so I will use the port 80. Okay. So it's pulling the images, it's updating. So all the PHP stuff is done. We have activated rewrite module. Seems okay. We are nearly there. But I can check in the meantime. Yeah, we will use this later. So on the build Docker, I'm gonna add a note. You want to debug, do docker exec, and as we name like this, and we said that we are gonna map the 80 port of the container and the 80 port of the local. So this will change on my build Docker file. Okay, we are nearly there. I saw that it ran the rewrite, it ran this line, so it's restarting Apache. Okay. So then, I already had this to debug. Okay, no, I added now. Okay. So basically, we have to do this to run the container. So let's go for it. Oh. Interesting. So Okay, so it exited, it did not work. The file runtime dir must be a valid directory, absolute or relative to server root. So the file config for some reason is breaking. So I could debug that. Like, okay, so if I do like this, oh, yeah, so I'm not gonna name LAMPP. I'm not gonna name LAMPP because there is one already, LAMPP. Okay, yeah, if I name it, if I run with interactive session, much better, no? Okay, so now I'm inside the image, so I can see, I can see what's going on. So let's etc apache apache2.conf. Okay, let me, what was the error? On line 80 of, okay, the file runtime dir, okay. So I jump to the line 80 and Apache run dir, and what's this? Oh, so there is not a variable for this. Okay. Let me see what we have. Oh, it's empty. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Let me see how I had in here. So probably I said here, those. Yes, I had all of this. Okay, so I'm gonna follow. Okay, so I'm gonna exit here. Okay, I have only my Jenkins, cool. I'm going to, okay, I'm deleting this. I'm gonna make sure that I have those variables set. Okay, and run dir, okay. Okay, so now it should do it. Let's go for it. Okay, if I put the variables in here, it will have to do all the update and install all the package. So if I put in here, it will be able to use this layer, so it will be much faster. So I will do this. Later I will move to app, but I don't want to waste time now. So it's reusing whatever it can. Okay, so far so furious. Okay, so now this should make it. All right, so now it's working. So if I go now to the web server, localhost, okay, we have the base Apache installation. Fantastic. Okay. Fantastic. So how we test if we have a PHP, okay, phpinfo. So that will be, we are gonna again modify our Dockerfile, and we will create a new page here, name a file that will be phpinfo.php, and if I remember well, it was like that. Oh, sorry, I have not worked with PHP for a while. Let me double check. phpinfo. Yeah, I will use this. And this one as well. Okay, fantastic. Go back. So I'm gonna do this. HTML. I want my Dockerfile to copy this. So copy phpinfo to, that will be var3w, I think. I'm inside the Docker container again, so I want to see var3ws. Yes, okay. So I'm gonna copy this to /var3ws. Let me check if this goes. It should be fast as we are using cache. Build Docker. Okay. So we are gonna run this. Perfect. Let's see. The page is up. So if I do phpinfo.php, why not? var3ws, phpinfo. Yeah, the path is right. So probably the connector php. Okay, php. Okay, so probably it's not connected. Then we need to do more things probably. Oh, I'm gonna add this package as well, because I want to be able to use Vim inside. So I was using the default site, but maybe I can use this. Sites enabled, the default. Okay, document root var. It's var3ws HTML. No. So this goes to inside HTML. Okay, now let's try again. Connection was reset. Okay, why? Var log. So we check the logs now. Apache, and we should have like error.log. Okay, command line, nothing in here. So we should have in the error logs. Okay. Let me see, because I jumped one of the steps. I didn't create so let's see. Sites enabled. So what do I have here? Okay. Okay, let me try this. In fact, I will copy this. Now okay. I will do another thing. Oh my. Okay, let's see if we can restart service Apache 2 restart. I think that this will kick me out of the VM. No, it kicked me. Okay, fantastic. Of the container, not VM. Okay, now here we go. So basically, it was a permissions thing. I had to enable those directives in the Apache 2 conf, in this case the default engine. So now we have a PHP, and I could do anything like connect to MySQL. I have those modules. So from this is a good start for the next classes for you and my students to work with PHP. So I'm gonna end the session now. On next Thursday, the 14th, I'm gonna broadcast about Python 3 object-oriented programming for beginners, the second part. So the previous one we covered a good part of it. Now we will cover the inheritance, and I will start a project from the scratch in order to show it, and hope this was useful for you. Have a lovely week.